I said yes to a stranger, giving him my Tesla camper in Canada, then boarded a flight across the world for his Tesla camper in Germany. This is part 3 of that story and my experience in Europe. If you haven't seen the previous 2 episodes, watch them first, then come back for this one. The Alps is a wonderful place. I planned this road trip with 2 main objectives. 1, hiking, and 2, meeting friends. Since wilderness camping is prohibited in many parts of southern Europe, they have created these amazing alpine huts for mountaineers to stay in. Many even serve a 3-course meal. I had my first experience staying in 2 of the many huts in the Alps, and oh, could I tell you, it hit me very differently than hiking anywhere in North America. I think I may have figured out why. You see, hikers from different parts of the world come to the Alps and start their long and exhausting hike. Your muscles and body become more tired the further and higher you go. Suddenly, in a far distance, a small object appears in your view, and you tell yourself you made it. You step into this little shared warm space and are greeted with love and kindness. Then you go to sleep with a bunch of strangers and they snore throughout the night. It is this atmosphere and the communal aspect that makes hiking in the Alps so special. I have 2 cinematic films about my big hikes in the Alps. If you are interested, they are available on my channel and I'll link them in the description below. After hiking in Germany, I rode the cute and curvy roads into Austria, where I would go on a day hike. It's another magnificent view with alpine sheets all around. There's this suspension bridge that people were lining up for photos, so I picked a rock and made my lunch. It has such a great view, so after lunch I decided not to descend just yet but to sit in this exact spot for a moment to absorb the air, the sound of the bells, and the wind blowing over my skin. When I reopened my eyes, I was in Slovenia. I slept at this trailhead preparing for my 2-day hike in Triglav National Park. While making dinner, an adorable village cat came to hang out. Just look at her. Oh my god, I could have stolen her. Up to this point, I had been filling up Ollie's water tank with this cooking pot, making countless trips walking back and forth from the restrooms. By the way, this is such a great pot and I decided to buy one for myself upon returning. So when I stumbled upon a free water station in Slovenia, I was overjoyed. I was so thrilled that I forgot one very important step. Yep. Guys, I messed up. I forgot to open this to release the pressure and the whole thing just exploded. Luckily, it was just a big crack at the top, so it didn't flood the car, which would have been really bad. By chance, the tank was still holding up well enough to contain water, so I rushed to a hardware store, bought a screwdriver and rewired the switch. I spent the next few days in Slovenia with a new friend who isn't too keen on being on camera. We had a great time chatting as he educated me about the history of Europe. We dined and camped in our cars.
Wow. It's just stunning.
And he became my unofficial tour guide of Slovenia. While driving up to Manga, the highest drivable road in Slovenia, this happened. More to that later. If you're watching this reel, thank you for an amazing time in Slovenia. The work you are doing is truly awesome and I'll continue to cheer on you. Back to this. Yikes. The road up to Manga was incredibly narrow and it turns into a nightmare when 2 cars are approaching from the opposite direction. It was my own fault. I was overconfident and kept myself too close to the right side. Somewhere along the way, I managed to scratch the bumper pretty badly and I didn't even notice until I get out of the car. You might be wondering, did I tell Oliver about this? Well, no, I didn't tell him right away. You see, I had blown up his $200 water tank just one day before. I did tell him about that immediately. Now this, just one day later, geez, I was scared of reality. Eventually, I had to break the news, and Ollie was incredibly understanding. He was so kind, and he even sent me this message. This is turning out to be a very expensive trip.
Now your destination is on the left.
Florian!
Hey, Jimmy.
How are you? Oh my god, I can't believe I see you here.
Yeah,
Hi.
my wife.
Hi. Oh,
Hi.
your wife!
Yeah,
Tina?
Nice to meet you.
As I continued south, I found out that Florian, a German friend whom I met just a month ago at the Tesla takeover event in California, was on his way to Croatia. We happened to be crossing paths randomly, so I met up with him and his wife Bettina at a campsite. Oh, you have two blankets.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You don't share? You don't like to share?
It's I'm not common in Europe, as in German-speaking areas. We have separate thing. It's always a little different when we go for overseas and somewhere. You have totally different bed culture.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. And in the morning, we had breakfast and shared a walk together. Hey, I want to take a moment to share with you about the Frobel Camper Kit. This is a product I've created so that you can easily convert your Model Y into a camper like mine, Ollie, Zach, Martin, Nikki, or whatever else. It's got a kitchen pull-out, a flat sleeping platform, plenty of storage, and like no other products out there, full access to your sub-trunk. Go to teslacamping.com and let your inner adventurous self go wild. From there, I made my way to Italy, stopped for a lunch and charge, and arrived in Venice. Venice was a very fascinating city. Even though it was filled with other tourists like myself on pretty much every single street, I was still able to find calmness and beauty within. I wrapped up my walk in Venice with a lovely sunset while enjoying a very traditional Italian dish. I would then continue west, visiting two other cities in Italy before driving north. In the next and final episode of this camper swap series, I continued north and on the way met new and old friends. In the meantime, check out my Tesla camping videos like these ones or the hiking videos from this trip. Stay adventurous, and I'll see you next week.